here is the video review for the X2 Toys XT006, and by extension the XT006G add-on set for Masterpiece Bumblebee. Now, like I said, it comes in two versions. We're going to look at specifically at the regular 006 set. It is also available in the XT006G, which is painted with metallic gold on the faces and metallic paint job on the jetpack here for Masterpiece G2 Bumblebee, the shiny gold one. As you can see here, the backpack that's on the Bumblebee here, the struts here are darker. It's more of a silver metallic paint with some dark metallic black on it versus the lighter grays, non-metallic grays of the animation version, because this looks more like a cartoon. That looks more like the G2 Bumblebee to fit it. But it's a neat little set, especially if you only have the regular Masterpiece Bumblebee, because you get the jetpack and some other little accessories, which is nice. If you don't want to, pony up for the G2 version just to get a jetpack. Because after playing with the G2 version, I was alone the other day for my review. I'm like, I kind of want a jetpack. And lo and behold, this showed up in the mail today. So yeah, what you get in the set is you get the jetpack, which you can see here is already on Bumblebee, and we'll take that off and show you how that works. You get this little piece of the arc wall, which stores the jetpack, as well as has a little slot down here to store all the extra pieces in it. It comes in pieces. You can see here, you kind of assemble this, and it's modular. So if you buy multiple sets of this, you can keep building out. You can see all these little tabs here. You can keep building up, out and up, and build a whole wall of the arc. You don't have this little piece is a separate piece. You don't have to put this little storage locker or any of this stuff on here. You can just have plain wall if you want. And these little, bottom panels, you can just keep building out, and you can build your own little arc set. It get a little expensive to buy multiples of these, but the fact that they have made them already, that means they may down the line release a pack of just these tiles, and you can build a nice 3D arc set, which is nice. The plastic quality is good, and it's a neat little, right here it's just one section of wall, but I've seen some pictures of it built out. It'd be a nice little display for some of your Masterpiece Transformers if you wanted. On the back, there's a little clip that plugs in, and it holds 4 of these Energon rods, like he and Wheeljack were collecting at the beginning of the series. Now, when you put this on, like I said, this is a little separate clip, and then these can clip out individually. I find it's easier when you're assembling all of this to clip these rods into this first, because these are pretty, the clips are pretty sturdy, and it takes a little force to get them in there. And because of the way this pegs into all these, one of these circular pegs on the back of the stand, the way this pegs in, if you try to put pressure on it in that really tight clip to plug this thing in, when it's plugged in here, you end up kind of bending the plastic a little bit. There's no stress marks. I don't think it damages it, but it's a lot harder to get these rods in if you do it after you've plugged this into the back. So plug them into the clip, and then just plug it right there onto the back, and it stores there behind the wall panel. So there's a lot of options just in this. The other things that come with Bumblebee is he comes with a little walkie-talkie, and it is very teensy. And you want to be careful because, like, again, the plastic quality is sturdy. I haven't had any issues. This doesn't seem too weak, but it is a very tiny walkie-talkie with an even tinier antenna sticking out of it, so do be careful with that. And it just kind of sits in his hand. It doesn't plug all the way in the way his gun does. He can still fall out very easily if you tip him over, but if you just stick it here in his hand, it'll stay in place once you get it in there. As long as you don't turn his hand upside down. Like, even at this angle, it's going to stay in there just fine, but if you turn him all the way upside down, it will fall out. So he's got a little walkie-talkie. He's got the jetpack. We'll go ahead and take the jetpack off here for a moment while we show off the, you see, I just popped the force of popping the jetpack off made him drop the walkie-talkie. So you want to be careful with that. Pop the jetpack off. And he comes with this little satellite. And I confess, I don't remember exactly where this satellite came from. But the satellite itself comes with different wing panels. Here it is with kind of straight out oriented the way a normal satellite would be. But you can pop these out. It wasn't so hard earlier. And again, be careful with these little thin pieces up here. But you can have wings in various orientations. Like, there's a little tab. They only go in one specific way, but you can have the wings oriented like that. Or you can have them folded up, flat up against the satellite like that. And you get one of these pieces for each side. So you could have both of them sticking up, both of them sticking straight out, or both of them kind of coming up and facing forward. I like to have it with the wings straight out. But again, it's entirely up to you how you assemble it. You get enough pieces to put it together however you want. And then this piece right here, just this tab right here on his shoulder, this just slides. You come from behind, it just slides right over it. So you can have that little satellite on his shoulder. And there is plenty of room here for this wing to stick out behind his head and still keep all the range of motion in his head. So no concerns there, which is nice. Slide that off. And then the jetpack, like I said, you just kind of fold these down. You just fold it flat. And then it rests on this platform. And these top pieces kind of slide behind these little hooks here on the top part. So this is a matter of resting it, kind of slide in one, slide in the other, lift it up, and center it on that support piece. And pop the energon rods off the back. And it just kind of hangs there on the display piece. So you can have that displayed with Bumblebee. And one of the other things you get 4 different faces with this one. You get his standard and open mouth expression faces. And the main change here is they've given him bigger eyes. And I'll show you what that looks like on the figure. I do think these faces look a little better on the figure itself. See if I can get these in my hands. Hold them steady enough to show them up. But there's the standard faces. And then you get one with this really weird kind of... Let's see if I can focus on this. Come on. There we go. I'm not sure what face that is. And then you get one where he's dizzy or something. He's got little swirly eyes. Just silly little faces. You don't have to use them. And again, they will store in this little bucket. We'll throw everything in there at the end. But we're going to take just his regular face with the larger eyes and show you what that looks like compared to the face that came with it. And again, there they are side by side. But if you pop this face off, oh, come here. Drop it on the floor. That's fine. And then you plug this one in. His eyes are just a little bit bigger and more defined. They look a little bit more like the animation model. And I like that look. That face is probably going to end up staying on my Bumblebee. Refocus here. And then the jetpack itself, like I said, it just clips on. It clips on slightly differently than the one that came with the G2 Bumblebee did. And it basically, you can see there's a couple slots here and a couple slots down here. And it's going to tab onto these 2 shoulder pieces. And it's going to tab on, instead of tabbing into this little peg hole like the G2 backpack did, it tabs onto this little tab here on the wheel. So you just put it up against his body and tab it on. Oh, come here. Get my fingers in the way of everything. There we go. Just tab this on. You should just tab on. Why are you... I had it on him. It obviously works. Oh, there we go. Tab that onto one side. There we go. You feel it click into place. Tab on the other side. There we go. And then these come down. And you kind of want to, when you do this, you kind of want to come under here and support the wheel with your finger, because otherwise you'll kind of push this panel in. So it helps if you support the wheel with your finger and then clip it onto that little tab. Come around here and do the same thing on this side. Just support it with your finger. Line up the tab and clip it on. And then Bumblebee's got his jetpack. So yeah, all in all, I think if you've got just the regular Masterpiece Bumblebee, this set is definitely worth it. You get a couple of accessories. You get, like I said, you get a slightly better animation-looking face with the eyes. I think, like I said, I really do think that looks a little better than the stock head that came with it. And you'll get the jetpack without having to shell out for another Bumblebee figure, if that's a consideration. Plus, you get this neat little arc piece. And I do wish there were maybe a few more panels included with this, because like as it is right now, it's just one thin little section of the arc, which kind of looks okay if you just have Bumblebee on your shelf. But if you're putting him in a display with other Masterpiece figures, you kind of want to build this out. And like I said, it's easy to do, and I hope that eventually one of the sets they release is just a pack of, you know, a slightly cheaper pack of just these panels, because I think it would be neat to have more of a 3D display. I personally would. I've been looking at some of those hanger sets and things like that, and have been wanting to build out a 3D arc, but it's just hunting down the hanger sets and then getting them when they're on sale, and like getting enough to build a decent display is a little cost prohibitive a lot of times. So if they could do some cheap just sets of these tiles, I think it would be neat. So yeah, if you have the regular G2 or the regular Masterpiece Bumblebee and don't have any plans to pick up the G2 version, this set I think is worth the price. And the regular set is $44.99 at TF Source, and the G2 set is $10 more. And I don't know if that's because the G2 set is a more limited run, or if it's because of the extra paint that they put into the G2 set versus this one. I don't know what causes that price difference, but there is this set, like I said, is $10 cheaper. If you already have a G2 Bumblebee, really the benefit you're getting here is the arc pieces, and then a couple of faces you don't have already, and then these little this little satellite. The satellite, oh, and the walkie-talkie. I don't know if that by itself is a huge added value over the figure you've already got, but if you just have the Masterpiece B, I think with the jetpack and everything else included, it's a pretty decent set for the figure. So yeah, there it is, the XT006G. We'll go ahead and put all these extra faces in here. Like I said, you just lift this up, just pop all the little pieces in there, and then you don't have to worry about losing them. And this lid stays shut fairly decently. Like it kind of, you heard it kind of click into place there when you close it. So you can turn it upside down, it doesn't dump everything out, which is nice. And all your little pieces are right in there. So yeah, there's XT006, and of course the XT006G. I'm not going to open it because I don't have the G2 Bumblebee here with me, and it's the same pieces, just in slightly different colors on the jetpack. I believe these pieces are exactly the same.